Hey kids, so my camera's being a turd, so I'm going to do this from my webcam. Apologies for the quality. I have been asked to vlog about my fear of goats. I was really hesitant because it's a really dumb story and it's a really dumb fear, but I'm doing it, so here we go. When I was 5, I went to my great-grandma's with my family, and they had this big display of wax figure Santas, which is actually not that creepy. It's pretty cool, especially when you're a little kid and you're obsessed with Christmas or whatever. I don't know, I love Christmas, but basically, I didn't know a whole lot about Christmas around the world, and most of the Santa Claus figures were pretty straightforward, some form of red robe or outfit and a big beard and a big sack of presents, so that's fantastic. But while I was looking at one, in a hallway, I didn't realize that I had backed up against another Santa display, and it happened to be from Germany. And if anyone knows anything about German Christmas folklore, you know where I'm going with this. Basically in Germany they have Santa, then they have Santa's little helper. It's not an elf. He is called Krampus, and he's the scariest thing ever. Here's an artistic rendering of Krampus. Fun, right? So basically that thing in the sack on his back, those aren't toys, those are naughty children, and he's holding a lovely switch with which to beat them, and later I'm pretty sure he consumes them. So that's great. Added bonus, his little wax figure at Grandma's home was about my height, and the face was all covered with black fur, and I cannot even think of anything scarier. I actually can't, beyond the desolation of the middle class and the current presidential elections. I cannot think of anything more frightening than that Krampus figure. So I'm flipping out, and my family thinks this is hysterical. Not okay. Not okay. And the thing is, he looked a lot like a goat. So that scared the proper crap right out of me. Fast forward 13, 14 years, I was with a friend visiting another friend at college, and we had probably a 2-hour drive home, and it was at night, so after midnight, and we were going over this bridge in kind of an industrial area, and then the lights were really, really pretty off the water, and she's a photographer, and we got kind of lost, so she was like, hey, let's pull over and take some pictures and look at the lights, and, I was kind of my better judgment was no, I'm not getting out of the car, but I did, and we went out there, and we were in this neighborhood, and I honestly have no idea where it was, but we were looking out at the water, and it was a residential area, and I wasn't really expecting to see anything on the hill, but it was a person's house and then a hill full of grass, and that's behind us, so this is time number 2, I am not aware of what's behind me. We're looking out at the lights, looking out at the water, and it's not as great as it was from the car, so we're okay, let's turn around, let's go, home. And I catch out of the corner of my eye something on the hill, and I'm it's a little creepy, didn't see anything when we drove up. I'm kind of freaking out a little, and I'm wow, what's there? Okay, so it's a hill full of goats. And that's not that uncommon in this area. People will do rent-a-goat if they want to get rid of, brambles or, I don't know, weeds, stuff like that. It's an efficient weed whacker. And then I look again, and they're all plastic. Okay, so I'm to my friend, I'm Carrie, there's a hill of fake goats behind us. And she's no, they're just sleeping. And I was no, they're fake. And I do not have a good history with fake goat-like things. And she's oh, calm down, get in the car. So I get in the car, and she's we turn around in the neighborhood, and she shines her headlights on the hill, and she's I don't know what you're freaking out about. All fake goats, in various positions, all plastic, eyes open, in this always watching position. And since then, can't do any sort of goat-like anything. And people who make jokes about leaving goats on my front porch or outside my front door, don't do that. Please don't do that. I cannot. No. Anyway, I'm terrified of goats. That is why. It may seem like a thin excuse, but remember Krampus. Sangita, it's your turn. I want to know why you're afraid of squirrels.